Kyle Williams. This man, I think, got at a discount at the 69th overall pick. I have one comp here, which is a player who's a second-year wideout that the Patriots famously missed out on. But this is a 96% match by athletic profile according to Mock Draftable. And I see it. I see it, Danny Kelly. Ladd McConkey.
That's a great one. Yeah.
I think uncovers, good against man-to-man. They both have tiny hands, whatever. If they're open, I don't care how big the hands are.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And he was better catching, like more consistent catching the football. And this is, again, why I try not to get too hung up on drops and things like that, because I think earlier on his career, Kyle Williams had some issues with drops and then got better. That's what happens a lot of times. So the hand size thing is not a huge concern for me. But yeah, I think Kyle Williams, that's a good comp, because the first thing, like when I picture Kyle Williams in my mind, the first play, like type of play that comes to mind is he'll like run these little comeback routes or hitch routes where he gets open. He can decelerate and stop on a dime, be open. And then he does this thing where he like reverse pivots away from the like it's like almost like he's on the like the low post. He'll like reverse pivot away and like
spin and spin.
Yeah, and the corner will like just go flying past him. He has a really good feel for that for whatever reason. He just kind of knows which direction like their momentum is going to be taking them, and then he reverse pivots away. And this is why I comped him to Deontay Johnson, which now kind of sounds terrible, but like the peak version of Deontay Johnson was really shifty, really interesting. Body control, ability to get open early on in his route and give his quarterback a target. He can get deep sometimes, and then run after catch. Obviously, Deontay Johnson ended up being a bit of a head case, and that's not really working out. But like talent wise, he was always really good. And so, yeah, the McConkey one makes sense, because the first thing with McConkey for me is like his acceleration, his ability to catch the football from a dead stop, accelerate away from defenders, run after the catch. Kyle Williams was really good in this last year, running after the catch, breaking tackles. He's not a big guy, but he's got really good acceleration, really quick feet, and just like I said, a kind of a good feel for making defenders miss and kind of using their momentum against them to run away from the coverage. And so, yeah, that one makes a ton of sense to me. I think he's even a little bit more versatile than McConkey, because he played outside quite a bit as well, and he can play outside if they really want him to. I think McConkey was kind of seen more as like a slot receiver who can play outside. McConkey played outside in college, but I think most people kind of saw him as like a slot type of dude. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's a really intriguing comp. I like that.
Yeah. So they're both 5'10" ish. They're both around 180, 90 pounds, 4.4 speed, really good against man coverage. You have some questions about size and durability and this and that. And granted, there was no one else around Ladd McConkey to catch the football in like the entire city of Los Angeles. And so he finished with 82 catches for 1,149 yards and 7 touchdowns.
Quentin Johnston erasure here.
Yeah. Sorry, Q. Kyle Williams is not going to sniff 82 catches, 1,200 yards basically, and 7 touchdowns. But I do think the upside is there. And this is the ceiling for him. Was a little bit less talented. Obviously played at a much smaller school, but has those tools where it's funny you bring up the comeback route specifically, where he's pivoting like the old dude at the Y that you can't believe you gave up 32 in a matter of 13 minutes.
Yeah.
It's, you know what his success rate was, Danny, on comeback routes, according to Matt Harmon of Reception Perception?
No, what? Tell me.
Guess.
So the success rate, maybe like 75-80%, something like
100%.
Oh, geez.
Comeback route.
Okay. Well, I was like, so I think like 80% would be like really good and
exceptional.
Yeah. Okay. So that's
Kyle Williams, whether it's stopping on a dime, whether it's accelerating after the catch, and he averaged something ridiculous, like over 8 yards per catch after he caught the ball.
Yeah.
Like it's just there. And again, there's some mechanical things to work out, and he's a little bit smaller, and we'll see how he does in bump and run. But I've said it over and over again, the variety of releases and how quickly he can stack you with that 4.4 speed, if it's a vertical route, or if you're close, lose you at the break point, 10, 12, 15 yards downfield. Really good on dig routes, really good on slants. Like he just posts, or it's all there. So I think Ladd McConkey is the upside. But I will, again, disappoint the people because we're doing ceilings and floors here.
Yeah. Kyle
Phillips, another guy profiled very similarly, 5'11", 189. He was quicker than fast, but still ran a 4.4, former 5th-round pick to Tennessee under Vrabel in 2022, and was all over all of the Patriot beat writers' mocks because he was the small, shifty white guy.
Did he run a fast 3-cone? Yeah.
Yeah, great 3-cone.
Short shuttle or whatever.
So he's only played 14 games in 3 seasons, and his season high was 181 yards. So he just couldn't put it all together, got injured. He's not as talented as Kyle Williams, but there's a universe in which Kyle Williams gets banged up, and some of the size concerns do become realized, even if you and I think he's going to be a really good player. So that's my floor. My absolute floor for him is Kyle Phillips.
That one totally makes sense. I was gonna put forth a Jahan Dotson ref for you here, because Dotson was a first rounder. I think and obviously he had a lot of speed, quickness, agility, ability to kind of shake defenders and get open. But man, for whatever reason, just has not done anything in the NFL. I guess his first year he had like 6 or 7 touchdowns, but it was like really high variance.
It's like a red zone specialist, you know?
Right. So Jahan Dotson sort of would be like the downside comp to it, where it's like the traits are there, and then for whatever reason, I just didn't know exactly how he never ended up doing much. And then obviously he got traded. Now he's the number 3 receiver in Philly, and kind of an afterthought. So I don't know. It's hard to predict what will happen with receivers. Sometimes like landing spot really does matter a lot too. I think with Kyle Phillips, like landing in Tennessee was just a death knell for him. Like, you know, it's just not, that just was not going to work for anybody there. But yeah, hopefully, you know, I think Kyle Williams honestly has a chance to be like the number 2 receiver in New England this year, which is kind of wild to say. Or at least he has that potential to be so.
Yeah, and you would say that was not such a wild statement if Stephon Diggs was not in the building. But man, baby, they finally got a number 1-ish. So, yeah, I'm with you. I think he could start week 1. And the big question mark, which Doug is always very kind and smart to remind me when I get too excited about Kyle Williams, is, hey, do you remember all the other rookie receivers who came and played for Josh McDaniels? How did that go?
Oh, can the downside comp be actually Jalen Polk? That actually makes a lot of sense. Unfortunately.
So we'll see. But no, I like that.